Welcome back to Dragon Quest. In the previous episode, I reached level 7, acquired some better weapons and armor, discovered 4 towns, and accrued a decent amount of gold. With this gold, I plan to travel to the southeast town of Rimuldar, where I can purchase magic keys to open doors. So let's get back to it. I make my way to Rimuldar. The monsters near this town are pretty strong though, so I make use of the sleep spell for easier running away. Once I reach the town, I purchase a full set of magic keys. In this town's inn, there are some doors that I can open. After the first door is an old man named Howard, telling me that 4 steps down from the cold baths is a magic item, while after the second door is a chest that contains wings. I buy 2 more keys to replenish the ones I've just used and use a wing to go back to Tantegel. Once I'm back inside the castle, I open some more doors with the magic keys. The door in the west contains 4 chests, with the guard inside believing that brave people shouldn't steal. I proceed to do exactly that, opening the 4 chests for 13, 6, 12, and 9 gold respectively. Running the numbers, it's a total of 40 gold, so I lost 13 gold with this key. Even in the best case scenario, where all chests give me 13 gold each, I would have still lost a single gold coin to open this door, so it's very much not worth it. I open the door in the east. In the yard outside is another magic key shop, though it has a high asking price of 85 gold, very much outside of my budget, so I don't buy any. The nearby lady says that when the sun and rain meet, a rainbow bridge will be made, so says a legend. In the south, a guard tells me that if my HP is high enough that I should proceed. In front of me is magic floor that deals damage with each step. I take a single step to test my HP, and seeing that I can cross the whole thing, I advance the whole way. Talking to the warrior stuck here, he tells me that to find Garin's grave in Garinham, I should push through a wall of darkness. I heal and make my way out of the room. Another warrior says he's been looking for the castle cellar, which is difficult to find. Realizing that there's a lake outside of the castle, I decide to test if I can circumvent the castle walls. I reach the lake, take a step to the right, and I wasn't kicked to the overworld, so I go further south, reaching some stairs. I go down the cellar, finding an old man with a chest near him. He's been waiting for someone like me. I take the chest behind him, getting the Stones of Sunlight. I now hold one of the 3 legendary items needed to cross to Tantegel Castle. After this castle raiding, I go to Breckenary. There's a door in the inn I can open, inside being a warrior that tells me that Garin's grave is home to the Silver Harp. In the northeast section of town is a locked building. I open the door, revealing that it is a fairy water shop. Fairy water is a consumable item that stops weak monsters from attacking the player in the overworld. Since I'm being stingy with my gold right now though, I buy none. While I receive many hints to go to Garinham, I decide to make a stop in Cole instead. I go to the bath, take 4 steps down, and search the ground, finding the Fairy Flute. Presumably, this is the golem's weakness. I then open the door where an old man resides, asking me if I had found the flute. Since I did, he tells me to go to Cantlin. I make some preparations and decide to do some grinding in the mountain cave, as it is an easy source of gold. I reach level 8 during preparations, then make my way to the cave. Fortunately, the respawning chests allow for an easy accumulation of gold and herbs. At this point, I have to be careful against warlocks as they could put me to sleep at any point, so running away is the better option. I continue the grind until I reach 560 gold and go to Garinham to buy the hand axe. I go back to the mountain cave for a bit more of gold grinding and then decide to go to Rimuldar to buy more magic keys. I arrive at Garinham and open the closed building. An old man says that Erdrick's armor has been hidden. A younger man tells that the town of Hawksness lies to the south, but he knows not if it's still standing. A merchant suggests making a map if having difficulty navigating the darkness. The nearby chests hold a torch, 12 gold, and an herb. There's a door locking 2 guards, but they say nothing useful. I push through the darkness, finding an old man that warns of the Silver Harp that attracts monsters. I should stay away from Garin's grave. I decide to enter, but getting cold feet, I leave immediately. I go back to Rimuldar, buy keys, then go to Tantegel. Grinding again in the mountain cave, I reach level 9, giving me the Radiant spell. Stronger than a torch, but its sight decays over time, so repeated usage will be necessary in longer dungeons. Having the sight will be of great help in future dungeons for better floor layout readability. I continue my grind, this time to 800 gold, going back to Garinham to buy the large shield. Back to the cave I go, this time I grind 1000 gold, going back to Garinham to buy the half plate. Feeling confident on the equipment I just bought, I go to Rimuldar and decide to visit the magic temple that is to the south. Enemies around these parts include wraiths, who can heal themselves and are somewhat resistant to sleep, wolf lords, who are quite strong and will cast stop spell to block my own spell casting, goldmen, who have high HP, resist sleep quite well and drop the most amount of gold among enemies, And finally, wyverns, pretty strong enemies overall. I enter the temple, finding an old man who doesn't believe that I am Erdrick's descendant and banishes me from the temple. How rude! I decide to try my hand at defeating a goldman, but he's resistant to sleep, which I hadn't realized at the time, means that the fight goes rather wrong, though I managed to escape. Goldman grinding is still out of the question. Thinking about how far I can go, I decide to test if I can go to Hawksness. While I do find it, I can't quite get in due to the high amount of strong encounters, so I back off immediately. What else is left other than grinding? Back to the mountain cave I go. After a rather long session, I managed to reach level 10. This one gives me the Stop Spell, allowing me to block enemy spell casting. Those warlocks don't sound so threatening anymore, as long as they don't ambush me, that is. Once I get 1500 gold, I head towards Rimuldar to buy the broadsword. With this kind of equipment, I decide to test myself against the nearby enemies, which is a success. I grind all the way to level 11, and once I reach 3000 gold, I buy the full plate. I decide to make another attempt to reach Hawksness. This time, I reach successfully, discovering a ruined town full of monsters. Deciding to not waste any time, I try to go further east towards the next town, but a Magi Wyvern has other plans for me. I fall in combat, getting kicked back to Tantegel, half my gold gone. Since at this point I have the Radiant spell and better equipment, I go to Garinham to take a shot at exploring Garin's grave. The enemies of the first floor are pretty easy at this point, so after some exploring I find 3 chests holding 11 gold, 15 gold, and an herb. I find my way to the second floor, and I immediately find stairs to the third, though it's actually a dead end, so I go back. The enemies of this floor are closer to Rimuldar in terms of power level. I find another set of stairs. This time there's more to explore. Not only that, there are more new enemies, including Spectres, the next caster of Sleep and Hurt after the Warlock, Druin Lords, which are stronger and cast Heal and Hurt, Droll Magi, which are similar to Wolf Lords, being strong enemies that only cast Stop Spell, and finally, the strongest enemy of the area, Wraith Knights, who are capable of healing. I move further into the dungeon, finding a chest with a cursed belt. Cursed items are stuck to you when equipped, and are only removable with the decursing service back in Breckenary. Curses also prevent you from entering Tantegel Castle, so no game saving is available. Cursed items can be sold though. As I continue through, I find myself back at the second floor, so I go to the fourth and final set of stairs there. This section of the third floor does have stairs to the fourth floor, which then brings me to an enclosed section of the third floor which has a chest that holds the Silver Harp. Having gotten what I came here for, I exit the dungeon. This has been a troubled journey, but this time I've acquired some key items, including one of the 3 legendary items required to cross to the Isle of Dragons. Some more exploration might be necessary, but at this point I hold strong equipment, so finding my way shouldn't be too hard. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully making more progress towards finding the rest of the legendary items.